Hello, happy Talk It Up Tuesday. This is Michael Damon here from We Merge Media, here today for Talk It Up Tuesday, sponsored by Be Well Magazine. Today, here we go. Welcome to Talk It Up Tuesday. My name is Michael Damon, and today is Talk It Up Tuesday, sponsored by Be Well Magazine. Today, I'm going to be talking about some business lessons learned in 2022. I invite any of you who are out there in the audience to go ahead and join in the conversation. You can comment down below and we can talk about what you've learned in business this year. I'll share some of my own personal experiences and stories, and we'll have a little conversation as the year comes to an end and we start thinking about what we're going to do in 2023. So, Talking Up Tuesday is a live show that we put on, sponsored by Be Well Magazine. The goal of this day is really just to open up the microphone and open up an opportunity for us to have some conversations amongst business owners and entrepreneurs, kind of share what's on your heart, what's on your mind. So this topic came up today as I was doing some reflecting on 2022 and kind of thinking about the things that I'm learned this year and what I might be doing differently in the new year. So we're currently streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Wherever you're watching, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let me know that you're here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Go ahead and let me know what state you're tuning in from. And if you have a story or a lesson that you've learned from 2022 that is influencing the way you do business in 2023, I would love to hear it. All of us would love to hear it because it gives us a chance to learn from one another and to be able to just kind of share knowledge as we learn it. I think that's a very important and valuable thing is when you learn things that you share and pass it on to others so that they can do their thing too. So I do have someone watching from Facebook. Hello, Michael. I can hear you here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Talk It Up Tuesday. If you're a business owner, let me know. We'd love to hear if you learned any lessons. I'll kind of get started here and talk about some of the stuff that I've learned this year. And yeah, just kind of go into the conversation. So, where should I begin? So, one of the things that I'll start with as a lesson learned was that this one just this morning. So, like, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I'm really um, temperamental about my work environment and the way I feel when I get up in the morning to work. And this morning, I was actually listening to I was trying to get back to my routine of listening to something motivational, something inspired to kind of get my day going. And I watched a motivational video, the kind of take all those different clips from different people and put it together. And one of the things that I heard today, which I was like, and I'm guilty of it, is that you won't always feel good doing all the things that you need to do. Like I always try to like get into a certain vibe or to get into a certain mindset to be like, oh, like okay, I'm feeling good, I'm ready to do my thing, and I look for that, and when I can't find that, oftentimes it ends up like slowing me down. I feel spend so much time trying to find that and create that mood rather than just jump into the stuff that I need to do and just start going. So today, because of that, it was one of those days where my mind was racing and I had all this stuff that I knew I needed to do. And I'm just like, okay, I just heard the message. Let me just get up here. Let me, I did some meditation stuff, did some stretching and all that stuff. And then I just got on the computer and, if you ever heard the term eat that frog, like I just reached into my bucket of stuff that I got to do and just started to kind of chopping away at it. Now, it worked, like even though I didn't have that optimal feeling that I typically want to have when I'm working on stuff, I was able to work through that project and make some progress and get some things done. So, am I talking a foreign language? Like, does anyone else experience that? Are those things that, you try to get yourself mentally, physically hyped up to do that sometimes you just can't find it, but you just have to do it anyway? Like, that was me this morning. So that was one of the lessons. Hey, Tehana, that's you. Okay, cool. I don't know how this thing's decide whose name is going to show, who's not going to show, but thank you for joining. This is Tiana here from Milwaukee tuning in. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and that's another good point too. I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago. Um, Amani and I were talking, and Devon D jumped on. He shared a tip that was good because a lot of us are multi-talented and we do a lot of different things and own multiple businesses. And sometimes you feel like that's a bad thing and that you should just really have one thing that you do. And we had a conversation about like how do you deal with that? How do you manage that? And he had mentioned that like there are plenty of wealthy people who are successful who have multiple businesses that they're responsible for at the same time. So that was another one of those lessons that I'm like, there's some truth to that. Um, you know, that was good to hear because you spend so much time trying to figure out like how do I narrow myself down, sometimes feel almost like dumb myself down so that people can understand it and get it. And not everything is for everybody, so that's another valuable lesson to learn from the years that not everything is for everybody. You have your different groups and tribes of people who for different things, and that's cool. That's cool to be okay with that. What's another lesson that I learned? So, anyone who's just tuning in, we're talking about lessons learned in 2022 as business owner. If you have something that you picked up and that you learned this year, please comment down below and share so we can talk about it here on the show. So, another thing that I learned for me was how important it is to continue to push your dreams to be bigger. That was something that I had lost sight of. It's like as you go through your journey, at least I'll speak from my personal experience, as I go through my journey and I achieve new levels, I'm like, oh, okay, this was once a dream that I'm now arrived at and it's here. And I think before that thing happens, you almost kind of have this feeling like you're going to arrive to this point and then you're just going to kind of ride that point out. But that never happens. Like that never happens. You end up having the next bit, the another dream, and you want to do the next thing. So, the lesson that I learned from that is one, don't stop dreaming. That's important. That's a big thing that we're going to have in 2023 with Be Well magazine and everything that we're doing. We're titling this year The Big Dream. 2023 is all about the big dream. So having those big dreams and, while you're on your way there, not forgetting the journey that brought you to that point, in the first place. So like, yeah, you may have achieved a certain level of something that was once a dream for you, but before you just put that behind you and then move on to the next thing, I'm going to be very mindful to take some time to reflect on the journey of what brought me there, have some laughs, add some of the things that I can remember one day might have been stressful to me. And then the next day I'm looking back at it like, oh man, I remember when that happened. I thought the world was going to collapse. We all have those moments. So let's see here today. He said, I'm still struggling as I end my day. Hey, we all got them too. That's for sure. Everything is not for everybody. So I was just talking about the big dream. This is supposed to be Carmen. Carmen, is that you out there? Thank you for sharing the events and everything. So we talked about the big dream retreats. The big dream retreat currently has two retreats scheduled for 2023. One of them is the one coming up in Arizona. So if there's anybody out there listening who was thinking like, where can I go in January to get away for a little bit, have some rest and relaxation time, and be with some good people? Come over to Phoenix, Arizona. We have a retreat the weekend of the 14th and 15th, 13th, 14th, 15th. There are a couple of seats that we opened up for general admission. So get in touch with Carmen Ray if you're interested, or comment here below, and one of us will get in touch with you about how to reserve those seats. But if you're looking for a little getaway and you want to come out here and tap into the things that are going on that weekend, let us know. That's going to be coming up. We have another retreat for Be Well, which is going to be in Milwaukee. So, the city of origin for many of us. That's going to be in April at the Iron Horse Hotel. So that's one of the second big dream retreat that's coming up. And these retreats are going to be like life changing. Like, we had big dreams and we thought about planning the concept of them and what the mission of it was. And it's really going to be about pushing ourselves and the community of entrepreneurs that we work with to think bigger, but then also to work together so that we can all achieve the things that we need to achieve collaboratively. So, this was the year of collaboration is the new currency, and now we're starting to talk about the big dream. So it's going to be a fun time. And there just might be some other retreats next year, so make sure you stay tuned in so you can keep up with that. So tonight we're talking about lessons learned in business for 2022. I'm watching the comments here to see if anybody has any lessons that they learned for this year that they want to share with the audience, so that we can all learn from it and kind of share our experience. So I shared a couple of them so far. What's another lesson learned? I was going to make a list of these, and I spent some time reflecting on them. What else was good this year? At least a new experience for me is realizing that I've reached a point in the business that I need to step away from the day-to-day frontline stuff and really start operating from a different position within the business. That sounded good. I like the way that sounded. That's one of the lessons that I learned, that, it became very clear to me that it's time for me to take a different role within the company and pivot. And, it almost kind of ties into that whole big dream idea. But like, beyond me, what does my business with Merger Media look like? And, how would that look? Who do I need to bring to the table? That was a new thing for me. I think that was something that I used to think was so far away that I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to think about that. But this year just felt like became very obvious. It's almost kind of like everything around me is saying it's time for you to kind of really step back and take a different role within your business. And that prompted me to start looking into a lot of different things and taking some different actions. So that was a good one. I'm appreciative for that one. Let's see what some of our other lessons are here. My biggest lesson is building and not begging. I for sure know that's Carmen, right? Yeah, that right there is so key, because it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Let me make sure. Everything ain't for everybody. Everything is not for everybody. So think about the energy that it takes to like beg somebody to be in collaboration with you and to be a part of something that you're creating. That energy just ain't right. Like, you don't want to mix that. Like, the best feeling is when you're talking to somebody, you share a concept, you share an idea, and like they just latch on and just like, ooh, like, I'm feeling this. How do I be part of this? Like, that's the energy that I've experienced that. And when I don't feel that, I know immediately not to push any further. Like, that's the only level I want to be on with people. So yeah, building and not begging is huge. That's a great lesson. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see here. What's another one here? My greatest value is me first. Ooh, I like that. Man, I had to learn that one the hard way too. Um, the whole pouring from the empty cup thing, like, once I came to the acceptance of realizing how important it is to prioritize you, that made a big change for me. Let's see. Biggest lesson was taking the power of leverage more serious. You got to tell me more. Oh, leverage. Okay, yeah, I got the right word. Biggest lesson was taking the power of leverage more serious. So I started, was that last year? Or this year, when I realized how powerful leverage was. I want to hear more about that. Let me know. Give us a little more to that story. I want to hear more about that. Let me think about that one, Tehana. I learned to stop counting myself out. My dreams may be big, but they are achievable. Nice. As the year is ending, I can see what all I accomplished in spite of. So stop counting myself out. I love that. I love that. That is a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. Achievable. Like, there's so much in the world that is like, we once, depending on where our mindset is, might feel it's impossible that becomes possible. So I love that you had an opportunity, like you said, despite of what was going on, that those dreams, and I always tell people, like, if the vision was given to you, you don't have to worry about somebody else validating or telling you how big or crazy are you doing too much. Like, it was your thing to do. So, like, don't let nobody take that away from you. I love that message. That was good. Put my physical, spiritual, and emotional wellness is critical for lasting success. That is absolutely true and correct. Agree with you 100%. I learned it is better to get into alignment with people. Yeah, Mikhail, what's up, Mikhail? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It is, man. Yeah, we talked. That's what we were talking about earlier. Like, it is just better to be on that energy because there's nothing like starting a relationship, whether it's working or personal, whatever it is. And you all, and here's the crazy part about it too. Like, when I think about stuff like that, like, you always had something else just kind of like, I don't know if I'm feeling this and I should probably step back. But you like, maybe I'm tripping, and you make an exception, and then later on it becomes real obvious, like, you knew better. Trust your instinct. So yeah, that alignment is going to be important. That's the only level. Ooh, this is a good one too. Yes, Carmen. Self care ain't selfish. I saw that one. Somebody posted that earlier, and I was like, that right there. Don't let nobody tell you it's selfish to be trying to take care of you. That is a lie. That's a lie, y'all. Therapist Dan's he's coming. Yes, she does need to come into the studio. I can inbox you the link. I think I put it on one here. So if you are available, I'll inbox it to you too. Um, Let me do that real quick. Just feel free to hop on if you can. There we go. Bow. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're talking about lessons learned in business in 2022. So anybody who might be joining late, that is our topic of the day, where we're just talking. I was reflecting on the year, and wanted to just talk about lessons learned. Trust our instinct. That is everything. Yeah, that is everything. Y'all preaching in the comments down here. It said you better speak, Tayana. Get in the studio and share more. Come on. I'll send you the link too, Tayana. Let me know. Let me inbox you real quick. So anybody who's just tuning in, we're talking about um, lessons learned in 2022 through business. Um, just opening up the floor to hear your stories and hear what your experiences were this year. Started out sharing a couple of them. Let me think. What other lessons have I had in 2022 that are really influencing the way I operate in 2023? Um, let's see. So we talked so far about the big dream, not losing sight of your big dream. We talked about trusting your instinct, which is good, prioritizing yourself. Another one was, coming to the conclusion that sometimes it's time for you to change your role and your position within your company. So that was a personal one that I had experienced. What's more? Oh, okay. So here's another one here. Oh, what? Wait, I got to guess. Okay, I see you down there. Mikhail. We ain't been in
Hey,
StreamYard in a minute.
hello,
How you doing?
hello. I'm
Good to see
fine. Can you
you.
hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. I can hear you just fine. Let me
Y'all can't
just
be just calling me out. Don't do
hey,
that.
the people call for you to step up to the mic. So here we are.
Yes,
Thank you for joining.
yes. I gotta pay it for it because I appreciate you stepping on the mic last week with Devon. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
that
We
was
gotta
good.
support one another. So what's up? What's the question?
So today we're talking about lessons learned in 2022,
Okay.
stuff that you picked up this year that's going to change the way you move in 2023. I was reflecting, it's kind of that time of year where we start reflecting. Okay, okay, what did I like about this year? What I want to change about the next year? And that's kind of the inspiration of the show. I was in one of those states. So, Mike, let's bring it to the mic, see what other people got to say,
I
and
love
talk
it.
about it.
I love it. So I was the one who commented, made a comment about leverage. So leverage,
Mm,
being a part of my network marketing company, I have learned the power of leverage. And then learning the power of leverage, pretty much, in my opinion, I was able to implement that in my other business with Glow Services,
yeah.
as well as my therapy services, where is I don't have to do all the work. I can lock arms with other people. And if we just, as our director say, all hands will make the load lighter. So if we're all able
Mm,
to, if we got one mission and the goal is for everyone to heal, or well, in my network marketing company is more so for everyone to become wealthy and financial free and things like that. But I applied it to my glow, where our mission is to save more youth. So the more I
mm,
locked arms with people and realized I didn't have to do it all, I was able to reach more people, and I was able to take those vacations when I needed to take the vacations, and know that glow was still changing lives. So that definitely was
mm,
one. That was one for the most. And then the other one for me would have been to, this ain't for the week. It's not for the week.
yeah.
I remember pausing this year, and I had to really be real with myself. And I'm like, do you want this? Because I knew when I started really embodying who I was, you work with me. You are my business coach. You have helped me develop Mikkel Daniels, and you will have to see, you yourself know the transition. And I'm not even, where I'm supposed to be yet. But the hardest lesson is it's not for the weak. And I knew once I embodied who I really was, it was gonna cause controversy, because my
Mm-hmm.
mission was going to be to help heal people, and it wasn't gonna look like how everybody else been doing it. So even in that, I had to learn that it's not for the weak, meaning people, you got to be disciplined. People's gonna come after you. They're gonna
Yeah.
question you at times. That's why you got to be for real of knowing who you are and be
Yeah.
grounded in that thing. But once I made the commitment that I'm not going back. I done felt what peace feels like. I know what financial freedom feels like. I know what personal freedom feels like. I know how to be in the right rooms with the right people. I ain't going back. So
Right.
I mean, I know this ain't no testimony, but
Hey, it is a testimony.
I mean, unless I can do what I do, Michael.
This is what we want. This is a testimony because that's what it's all about testimony today. But yeah, you touched on so much stuff, and it's like I don't know. I don't think anybody can prepare you for that time when it comes, when you realize like your people around you are going to change, and it almost kind of can be isolating sometimes.
Oh
But
yeah.
you know where your growth, and then you get in alignment with other people who've been there and who've traveled that journey and reached a point. You just like there's nothing in me that would allow me to go back to being to knowing less. Like I know better, so I'm going to do better type thing.
It's a whole different experience. And even what you said, you get in alignment with individuals who, that's right, ain't no going back.
Ain't no going
But
back.
you get in alignments with people who you don't have to explain yourself to. It's like they just get it. And it's like that's the people I want to launch arms with. And you become addicted to that, and you don't have time to stay in those same circles, because it does get isolating. Because it's like, dang, am I weird? Like, no, is it me?
Yeah.
Not a problem. Stuff like that. But you got to stay the course, and you got to be okay with it. The longer you stay sitting with yourself, stay true to yourself, for some reason it's like you start healing, you start owning who you are, and the universe brings you people who you like, oh, I wasn't alone,
It
like you
was waiting for you.
know, right? They like, we've been waiting on you, where you been at? So it
Right.
makes you be like, all right, cool, let me get up off this depression, let me get to do what I got to do. You are able to be around people who understand you're going to have bad days. That don't mean you're not Michael DeMond. That doesn't mean you're not therapist Mikkel Daniels. It's just, it makes sense. They just get it. They want to, collaborate with you. They get it. It's just, it's better.
hmm Yeah, it feels good, and it's like that. That reminds me of another thing that I have to take away from this year too. Is just like you don't need a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like the everybody's kind of been revealing the truth about social media lately and talking about the vanity numbers. And because people are realizing like you can have 10 million people following you, but how many of those people are really for you and about you and support you and like doing all the stuff you want people to do that it takes for you to be. So it's just like I think a lot more people are starting to realize like, oh, we got caught up in the chase
Exactly.
of trying to get the number, but you're
Uh-huh.
not thinking about the meaningful connection and the energy exchange.
Yeah.
Like it don't require all that.
Heck yeah, that's so true. Just like I learned in my network marketing company, all you need is three. You need nine that can see, but you just need
Right.
three. That's how. Look, I told you, I apply everything. What they teach me, like
Uh-huh.
everything to life, I apply to business. Best decision in my life. Like all you need. Think about it though, Michael.
All you need is
All
three.
you need is some three who get it that you can team with. Y'all can lock arms, and y'all just gonna go. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. Amani, I just inboxed the link into the Be Well group message, so feel free to jump on. That is true right there, and like you highlighted that because as you were talking earlier about the stuff that you picked up in your network marketing company that you were able to transfer, like I don't think people take in consideration the transferable skills and stuff that you learn from that kind of business
They
structure
put a price
that
tag
makes you
on
look
it.
at everything differently. Yeah, so
You have no
true.
choice. You're hanging around $250,000 earners, easy, hanging around getting asked for dinner with millionaires, and then it gives you this poise. I remember my coach last year, he had this boot camp and he had us, you hear that, right? Coach. So we even get coaches, free mentor coaches and stuff that's there where we're trying to get. But he had me take a
Mhm.
picture in front of my dream car. Do you know
Mm,
a year later, I have that same dream car? It's like, so it's bigger than that. After going through
wow.
so much, after being in debt, after the divorce, after all of that, I was going through my pictures like, I remember he had us do this. So it's just being around the right people is way more than some network marketing. I use it for professional development as well as applying it to my outside businesses. So it's amazing. Hey, Miss
That is awesome.
Amani.
Imani, welcome to the studio. You are muted, I think. Yeah, you are.
My bad. Hey y'all, how's it
Hey.
going?
Hey, we chatting it up, talking about lessons learned in 2022. Um, you know, therapist Mikhail Daniels came on. You know, you're gonna have a fire show when she jumps on here and start
Hey,
schooling us on the stuff.
I only heard the last 2 minutes. I had a schedule conflict. I've been overbooking myself, but I was listening in these last 2 minutes, and I'm like, man, that value that you just mentioned of just that the company being involved, like even if it's not what we're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Being involved with something that's bigger than yourself can be life
Yeah,
changing, life
Mhm.
definitely.
it
Definitely.
really shifted it shifted my purpose in the way that I do things because I realized that a lot of the work that we do is so much bigger than just us and our story that we have to tell. The impact that you're able to make when you broaden your reach is crazy.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. And then you mentioned something. You said you booking and you're overbooking. Slow down. It's there. Pace yourself because you're not going to be able to enjoy it. I used to do that a lot. I'm only speaking from experience, as I always only speak from experience. I learned that the hard way, because it's like you're running like you're on the you're just you're running because you can see the vision, so you're just trying to get to it, do this, do that, and then before you know it, you're living in the vision and you have imposter syndrome now because all these other people say how great you are and all this, but you've been running too fast. So you have to slow down to catch up with yourself so you can really embody who you are and what it is you're supposed to do and your purpose in the world in order to embody that. So you slow down, queen. Just slow down a little bit. That don't mean stop. You just slow down.
I love that, and I needed that yesterday. I heard Coach Tiffany Powell say sometimes you gotta slow down to catch up, and I was
Exactly. Another one of my great mentors. Absolutely.
man,
Absolutely.
that that little sentence got me together yesterday, and for this whole day, I'm like, I really do have to
Because
slow.
you feel guilty if you slow down. You feel you missing something. You feel you behind. There's
Yes,
no. Who made these rules? Who said by this age, by this time, by this? Yes, be consistent because tomorrow's not guaranteed. However, you're not going to be able to embody it and enjoy the experience and really know your impact while you're here on this earth if you don't slow down.
I agree. I definitely agree.
wise words, wise words. Yeah, this was good, and I see people going in the comments, and so that's awesome to see that this topic resonates. Um, it's funny, like that whole slow down to catch up type thing. I remember like there have been plenty times where like I would be like just at a boiling point, and I'm just like something got to give, and what I
Mhm.
would do was just be like, okay, stop, disconnect, and just relax for a minute.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
I promise you, every time I did that, and then I would either go for a walk or maybe I would just turn the computer off and I would come back to it the next day.
Mhm.
Like every time I did that, something that I would not have been able to control or make happen happens. It's just like I was in the way, you know?
I was in the way. That needs to some y'all better write that down. That's the nugget. That's the nugget.
I was in the way.
Don't miss the nugget.
I love
Say
I'm
that
that.
writing.
again, Michael.
I was in the way. I was in my own way.
Ownership. Understand that it starts there. It's okay. It's okay. We're not perfect. Tell yourself you're
Mm.
not perfect. I was devastated when I had to realize I wasn't perfect and I be wrong. Like, wait, so I don't know it all. That really hurt my feelings. Well, Michael, what you said, we be in our own way, and for you to have that self evaluation, people think that that is so small. That is it. That's the start. That is the start.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I finally learned that our self, like our personal development is not a step you can just move past. And I've always kind of put my personal development and my like just personal journey at the forefront of everything that I did, but it wasn't authentic enough. Like it was more so, okay, what are they saying online about what I'm supposed to be doing versus like,
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to be doing?
Yeah.
Like self-care became a buzzword. Even so, like even personal development is a buzzword these
Yeah.
days. And so I don't want to continue like thinking now into 2023. I don't want to continue to move in a way where I'm doing things based off of how social media says I should be doing it. Like personal development looks different for everybody. We are all at different steps of our personal development, and I really have to get grounded and figure out like, okay, I was able to get to this level with my personal development in
Mm-hmm.
2022. What do I need to do next year to take it up a notch to feel even more comfortable and confident within myself? Because speaking of Tiffany Powell again, one of the messages she left with us on one of our calls was about the value of that confidence and that poise, like, and she got it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah, that's my
what
girl.
so it's like what do I need to do as a young woman to just enhance my confidence and
I
move
can
in
tell
what
you that. I actually made a post about that today or yesterday. It was on my spirit. Maybe it was for you. To slow down, really to slow down. I was like, when I was slowed down, I was able to flow in my glow, meaning I was able to really not just talk about confidence, because my organization, we're evidence-based for building our participants' confidence. I didn't want to just talk about it myself. I needed to become it.
mm,
Slowing down helped me become confident. Now, even Tiffany Powell on one of her Zoom, she mentioned like Mikhail's not director, but when she walked in the room, it's director. That's because I slowed down and I was able to, because it's there already. I can definitely, it's on you, it's all over you. It's slowing down so you can recognize it. What I said earlier, catching up with you. And when you slow down, you don't think 5 years from now. You think about the here and the now. What am I now? Oh, I am dope right now. I don't have to do X, Y, and Z, what I see in 5 years. I am dope right now, how I am. And then you start getting in rooms, having the confidence to get in other rooms. And you're going to realize those rooms you want to get in so bad, they're nothing like you. You have a gift over you. So you're going to start getting in those rooms and realizing like, whoa, I'm way doper than I even thought I was, because y'all got the money, but y'all don't got the spirit. Y'all don't know your calling. Y'all don't. So that's what it takes. You have to slow down. Once you slow down, the universe or whatever God you serve, I know for me, the God I served, he knew I slowed down. So he put me in rooms now because I was going to be able to appreciate it and open my eyes to realize that you are special. And when you realize you're special, it sparks something more in you and you become unapologetic. But to answer your question, slow down. It's been all over me for the last 2 days. Slow down. I'm telling you.
that I love that, and I really love what you said about that moment where you realize like people see more in you than you see in yourself. People see how dope you are before you even realize it. And I've been in that season for the past, I feel like 5 years, where people see certain things in me and I'm like, or they'll ask me to do something that I didn't even realize people knew I could do. You know what I'm saying? Or ask me to come mentor this person or coach this group of students or facilitate this workshop for these people. And I went through that a lot in Milwaukee, and the imposter syndrome of just like, where are y'all getting this idea that I know how to do this stuff to? I'm not marketing it. You reaching out to me for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone was a confidence booster, but I knew it meant nothing if I didn't see those things in
Yes,
myself. So I really,
absolutely.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
love you mentioned imposter syndrome, because I was going to ask you, the founder of the network marketing company I'm a part of, I had a meeting with her, and it's so ironic because now that I'm this version of myself, meaning the ultimate, like I'm embodying her. That's what, when I see people like Shantina Gladney, Deborah Bradley, who I'm about to reference now, the Tiffany Powell's, when I see them, it's this poise they hold. But now that I have slowed down and I'm building that and I have gained that, now I see what she saw in me when she was on this side, what I see in you. So I'm gonna tell you what she told me. She told me the imposter syndrome. That's when I learned. It's like she was looking at me how I'm looking at you, like, wow, I just can only imagine that she was feeling the same way. Like, you have it. You have to slow down. You don't even know who you are yet. You don't know who you are yet. And you're gonna own it. Just keep on going. You get around the right people. I'm telling you, that changed my life. Even your mom, like getting around the right people, being locking arms with the right queens, the Nieceville Russells, the Dion Barnes, locking arms with them, it helped build my confidence because they was already ahead of me. So when I did bump my head, they was able to let me know, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Keep going. And being around those type of people, being around the me's now, with you, you ain't gonna have no choice. We're gonna rub up off of you. So slowing down and getting around the right people is gonna change your life because you're gonna see it. You're gonna you're gonna live it. You're gonna feel like, no, this me. So yeah, if your time is now. Your time is now.
Feel that. I really do. I received that and I feel that. I think I went into this year with the mindset of not the mindset, but a question I asked myself is like, how do you truly be who you are when you don't know who you are, when you're still defining that. And that I started the year with that question to myself. And I can truly say, like, at the end of this year, I'm not saying I figured out exactly who I am. I'm still growing into that and figuring that out as I step into new opportunities and new things. But I'm also not I'm holding myself accountable to figuring out who I am and moving in the direction of who I am and who I like truly feel in my spirit that I am.
That part.
And that's the growth for me that I appreciate because it's not necessarily about like perfecting this idea of who I am and figuring it out overnight. It's more about like really embracing that journey as I figure it out and not being too hard on myself in the process.
You got to show yourself grace. You show yourself grace. You have to be honest with yourself. If no one else gonna be honest, how do we expect everybody else to be honest with us and we're not honest with ourselves? You have to be honest with her. You have to forgive her. And once you forgive her and you start realizing who you are, you're gonna have to forgive her again because you're gonna be mad at yourself for doing the things that you did. Like, why did I even put up with that? Why couldn't I see? You're gonna wonder. So you're there. Forgive yourself again. Show yourself grace because you didn't know. You know now. You wasn't this version of yourself. So just let her know constantly. I always tell my clients, my therapy clients, this is the biggest battle of your life. This is the biggest war of your life because your old broken self is going to always be showing up or trying to fight you, is going to try to sneak you from the back with the ultimate version of yourself. But the further you get closer to embodying your ultimate self, then the more you just win the battles. I just posted a picture of the beginning of this year with me with boxing gloves on. I knew this was going to be that year for me, and I wasn't looking back. So doing that, I see you've been working out. That's amazing. You've been watching what you eat. And then therapy, check that out. Even if it's just, reaching out for free mental health. I'll offer that, shameless plug, MikelDaniels.com, 10-minute free consultations. But even with that, I personally, if you haven't already, like, I still see a therapist. I wouldn't be your therapist because I know, your mom, but just even a check-in, like, hey, this is what's going on. Those things that people can do and take advantage of to help them embody who they truly are, because you see it now and other people see it too. It's just time for us to wake up.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. My mom is doing the most in the comments, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask a question because she's funny. She said, therapist Mikel Daniels, how should young women position themselves to attract a solid, supportive, loving mate?
How should they heal first? You got to get in tune with you, because what happens is, it's a saying that says, if you don't heal, you bleed on to others. That is true. I know for me, I had to take a moment and really just sit with myself, because if I'm being honest, I never really was by myself. Like, I had a boyfriend since I was like 14. Like, I was always the type to have one person and all of that type of stuff, right? So when I had got a divorce and I had to sit in that and be okay with that, I paused and I spent like you said earlier, who am I? You know, like I knew who I was as a wife. I knew who I was as a mom, a daughter, and all these different roles, the mentee, the this, the that. But I didn't know who I was. So how you position yourself is you sit with you, because if you don't know who you are, you're not going to show up as your authentic self. So that relationship's not going to last anyway. But once you know who you are and you sit down and you slow down and you build that confidence, you start literally attracting people who get it too. You start a lot of, I see these, I mean, no shade to women, but I'm gonna say what I want to say, that unapologetically, some of these women say, I want a man who X, Y, and Z, and I'm only sticking to women, because the question was for women. So I'm not saying men don't do this. But for women, you want X, Y, and Z, but then it's like, but look at you, meaning you can be beautiful, you can have the body, you can have the career, but who are you in the inside? You need to take a moment and pause and work on you, because what's going to happen is, even if you get the man of your dreams, so I'm not saying you can't, if you're not showing up as the version he needs, then you're going to run that person away too. So we want this, but are you showing up as the person that's going to be able to feed him? Because even with me and Devon, we feed each other. You know, it's no one over the other, but there are some times where one has to be over the other if that didn't go over someone's head. So it's like showing up to that. However, healing taught me how to do that. Healing taught me I didn't have to be a fighter all the time. It was okay to be soft in Devon's arms. If I didn't heal, I wouldn't have been vulnerable enough to do that. So to answer her question, your mom's question, it definitely starts with you and with healing. One, you're going to attract it. You're going to be able to recognize it when it comes, and you're going to be able to show up as the version that person needs. And then you dance, you mirror each other. So yeah.
I love that. That was great advice. That was great advice. But this done turned into a whole
right. I'm like, y'all gotta go. My daughter's like, come on, Ma, you said 5 minutes. Michael, you muted.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I said this is into a 2-for-1 show tonight. Y'all got relationship advice, business advice.
However you need me, God use me. I'm your girl for the job. It is what it is. I got y'all, so I gotta go.
Appreciate it. Thank you for joining. Problem. You have a good night.
Thank you. Love y'all both.
Love you.
All right, cool. There you go. All right, so another episode down.
Yes, I'm glad I caught the end of it. That was a really good conversation.
Yeah, so anyone watching the replay, go ahead and comment. You know, this video will remain up here. Let us know any lessons you learned from 2022 that you are changing the way you move in 2023. Share that with us. In life and business, you know, whatever you choose is good. We had therapist Mikhail Daniels join us and give us some professional advice about some of the way we're feeling, and she left us with slow down, get out the way, and slow down. You know, so. Thank you for joining us tonight. You have anything that you want to add, Imani, before we close out tonight?
No, I think that's good. I got to go back and watch the replay so I can catch what I missed. But I definitely love that advice. I wrote down what Mikhail said. Slow down to catch up with yourself is what I got from like you really got to get grounded in what it is that you need. So I am focused on that for the rest of the year in 2023.
Awesome.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.